The three rebellions in Shouchun were a series of revolts that occurred in the state of Cao Wei during the Three Kingdoms period. The rebellions broke out in the later years of Wei when the Sima clan, headed by Sima Yi, usurped state power. The military governors of Shouchun rose in revolt thrice in the name of a rebellion to oust the Sima clan from power. The respective leaders of the three rebellions were Wang Ling, Guan Qiujian and Wen Qin, and Zhuge Dan. All the revolts were eventually suppressed. Background: in 249, during the incident at Gaoping Tombs, Sima Yi seized power from Cao Shuang in a coup d'etat and had Cao's entire clan executed. Since then, the Wei government was effectively controlled by the Simas. After Sima Yi's death, the power was inherited by his eldest son Sima Shi, and was later passed on to his second son Sima Zhao when Sima Shi died. The rebellions: Wang Ling's rebellion. After the incident at Gaoping Tombs, Sima Yi promoted Huang Ling, the general in charge of Shouchun, to the rank of Grand Commandant. Wang Ling and his nephew Ling Guyu felt that the Emperor Cao Fang was too young to rule, and saw that Sima Yi was actually the one in control of state power. They planned to depose Cao Fang and replace him with Cao Biao, the Prince of Chu. Ling Guyu sent his subordinate Zhang Shi to contact Cao Biao. In the spring of 251, Wang Ling seized the opportunity to send a petition to the Wei court, asking for permission to attack Eastern Wu forces in Tushui. The campaign against Wu was actually a mask for Wang Ling's intention to rebel. Wang Ling did not receive any reply, so he sent Yang Hong to inform Huang Hua, the inspector of Yan province, of their plans, in the hope that Huang would support him. However, Zhang Hong and Huang Hua reported Huang Ling to Sima Yi instead. News of the revolt reached the Wei Emperor Cao Fang in the 4th lunar month of 251. Alpha Sima Yi then personally led an army to suppress the revolt. Wang Ling was aware that he was outmatched, so he agreed to surrender after Sima Yi promised to pardon him for treason. Wang Ling knew that he would be sentenced to death anyway, so he committed suicide in the 5th lunar month while being escorted to the capital Luoyang. Wang Ling's clan was also exterminated and Cao Biao was ordered to take his own life. Guan Qiujian and Wen Qin's rebellion. Sima Yi died in 251 and his eldest son Sima Shi inherited his position in the Wei imperial court. In 254, Li Feng, Zhao Shan and Zhang Ji planned to overthrow Sima Shi, but their plan was leaked out and they were all executed. The Emperor Cao Fang was unhappy with Sima Shi's authoritarian attitude and incurred the latter's displeasure. Months later, Sima Shi deposed Cao Fang and replaced him with Cao Mao. Guan Qiujian, who was stationed in Shouchun, and Wen Qin, the inspector of Yang province, heard news about the deaths of Li Feng, Zhao Shan and Zhang Ji, and became afraid of being implicated. Guan Qiujian's son Guan Qiuzan kept urging his father to stage an uprising to defend their state's sovereignty from Sima Shi. The following year, Guan Qiujian and Wen Qin rose in revolt in Shouchun against Sima Shi and attacked Jiang Cheng. News of the revolt reached Eastern Wu, and the Wu Emperor Sun Liang sent troops to support Guan Qiujian. The Wu forces were led by their chancellor Sun Jun, Lu Ju and Lu Zan. Sima Shi personally led an army to suppress the revolt. He sent Wang Ji, the inspector of Jing province, to capture Nendun before the rebels did. The armies led by Zhuge Dan, Huzun and Deng Ai arrived and merged with Sima Shi's main force. Sima Shi ordered his troops not to advance any further. Guan Qiujian and Wen Qin were unable to engage the enemy and were worried that they might be ambushed if they retreated back to Shouchun. As most of the rebels' families were in the region north of the Huai River, their morale gradually plunged and they deserted. Only newly recruited civilians remained in the rebel army. At the same time, Deng Ai led his troops to garrison at Yuehia. Guan Qiujian saw that Deng Ai's army was quite weak, so he sent Wen Qin to attack. When Wen Qin reached there, he saw that Sima Shi's main army had arrived, so he ordered a retreat. Sima Shi sent his chief clerk Sima Ban to give chase. Wen Qin's army was routed and he managed to escape barely as his son Wen Yang fought bravely to protect him. The palace guardian Damu caught up with Wen Qin and attempted to persuade him to surrender, but Wen refused. When Guan Qiujian heard of Wen Qin's defeat, he escaped at night and his army was disbanded. Guan Qiujian was later killed by a civilian called Zhang Shu in Shen County and his head sent to the capital Luoyang. When Wen Qin returned to Xiang County, he saw that Shouchun had fallen to Zhuge and the rebel army had disbanded. He fled to eastern Wu. When the Wu forces led by Sun Jun arrived at Dongxing, they heard that Shouchun had been overtaken by Zhuge, so they retreated as well. Zhuge sent Jiang Ban to pursue and attack the retreating Wu forces. The Wu general Lu Zan was killed in the ensuing battle. Zhuge rebellion not long after the revolt by Guan Qiujian and Wen Qin was suppressed. Sima Shi died of illness and his second brother, Sima Zhao, inherited his place in the Wei court. Shouchun was guarded by Zhuge after the second rebellion was suppressed. Zhuge had witnessed the deaths of Wang Ling and Guan Qiujian after their failed rebellions and he felt uneasy. He tried to increase his popularity amongst the people in the Huai River region and gain their support. At the same time, he hired a group of bodyguards to protect himself. Sima Zhao wanted to eliminate the remaining loyalists of the state, so he heeded Jia Chong's advice to force Zhuge to rebel. Zhuge received an imperial decree to report to the Wei court and assume the post of Excellency of Works. However, Zhuge became afraid after receiving the decree, so he killed Yu Lin, the inspector of Yang province, and rebelled against Sima Zhao. He sent his chief clerk Wu Gang to eastern Wu with his son Zhuge Jing as a hostage, asking for reinforcements from Wu. Sima Zhao personally led 260,000 troops to suppress the rebellion and stationed his army in Qiachu. He sent Wang Ji and Chen Qian to lead an army to besiege Shouchun. He sent Shibao, Hu Ji and Zhou Tai to hold off the Wu forces. The Wu forces led by Wen Qin, Tang Zi and Quan Yi managed to enter Shouchun before the encirclement by the Wei forces was completed. Subsequently, Wen Qin led his men to break out of the siege several times but failed. The Wu general Zhu Yi garrisoned at Anfeng, southwest of Shouchun, as backup, but was defeated by Zhou Tai. Sun Chen moved his army to Chao Lake. He sent Zhu Yi, along with Ding Feng and Li Fei to break the siege on Shouchun, but were defeated by Shibao and Zhou Tai. The Wei general Hu Lai led a surprise attack on the Wu forces and succeeded in destroying the enemy's supplies. Zhu Yi's army was unable to advance any further as they had lost their supplies. Sun Chen was furious and had Zhu Yi executed. Sun Chen then ordered a retreat to the Wu capital Qiani. Zhuge forces were besieged in Shouchun for a long time without any reinforcements arriving. Zhuge deputies Jiang Ban and Zhao Yi advised him to concentrate on attacking a single flank of the encirclement to break the siege. Wen Qin opposed the suggestion and insisted that Wu reinforcements will arrive soon. Zhuge did not heed Jiang Ban and Zhao Yi's advice and wanted to kill them instead. Jiang Ban and Zhao Yi escaped from Shouchun and defected over to Sima Zhao's side. Sima Zhao followed Zhong Hui's strategy, by faking letters from Quan Hui and Quan Yi to trick Quan Yi and Quan Du into surrender. When Quan Yi received the letters, he thought that they were real and surrendered to Sima Zhao. Zhuge forces were taken by surprise. In the first lunar month of the second year Omega, Zhuge Wen Qin and Tang Zi attempted to break out of the siege again but failed and suffered heavy casualties. By then, supplies in the city were running out soon and several troops had surrendered. Wen Qin suggested releasing the northerners and Wu forces in the city to conserve supplies. Zhuge Dan ignored Wenqin's suggestion and had him killed in anger. Wenqin's sons, Wen Yang and Wen Hu, heard of their father's death and escaped from Shouchun and surrendered to Sima Zhao. The surrender of Wen Yang and Wen Hu caused the rebel army's morale to further plummet. In the second lunar month Omega, Sima Zhao's forces succeeded in penetrating Shouchun. Zhuge Dan fled from the city and was killed by Hu Fen's men during his escape. The Wu general Yu Quan was killed in battle while Tangzi and Wang Zhao of Wu surrendered to Sima Zhao. Aftermath. The failure of the three rebellions strengthened the influence of the Sima clan in Wei as several loyalists to the state were eliminated. After the rebellions, most officials in Wei turned to support Sima Zhao. In 260, the Emperor Cao Mao led a coup to oust Sima Zhao from power, but failed and was killed by Sima's men. In 263, Wei invaded Shu and annexed it within a year. Not long after Sima Zhao's death in 265, his son Sima Yan forced the last Wei ruler Cao Wei to abdicate in his favor, thus ending Wei's existence and founding the Western Jin dynasty, which united the land after Wu, the last of the three kingdoms, surrendered in 280. Order of battle.